No.
Okay.
Hard work, steely resolve, and sure grittiness.
It starts with an attitude. We need swagger, okay? Regardless of what happens out there, doesn't matter. Keep your swagger. Keep your swagger.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Five Hole Fantasy Hockey Podcast. We're your hosts today, TJ and Alan. What's going on, bud?
Hey, what a crazy last 24 hours. I mean, we got some people coming back from injury today. We'll get into that later.
That's right. Today we got the weekend preview. We're going to be doing the fantasy hockey mailbag as well. As always, you can find us on Twitter at FHF Hockey. We're in the fantasy hockey Discord, soaring over 2,700 right now. So get in there before your league mates do. We're live on YouTube right now. We're also on the pod feeds if you're not hanging out with us there. Here we are with injuries. I mean, McDavid's back, so that's kind of huge. I assume that's where we were going with how crazy these last 24
the craziest thing in the last 24 hours.
Literally nothing else has happened, especially in the United States. Connor McDavid, full return tonight, and I wrote here that his adamantium bone transplant has fully hardened and he is ready to go. It was like, what do they say, 3 to 4 weeks or 2 to 3 weeks, and I think it's like 6 days later or some shit. So, buddy is fully Wolverine. Still waiting for Edmonton to catch up as well. It doesn't seem like they're they're not fully healed as a team yet. So
I mean, they were 2-1 while he was out.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I was kind of hoping that, as the big dog was out, they could have a chance to dig the fuck in on their own, and hopefully that's what happened. I mean, Draisaitl's still moving. RNH on line 3 right now, which is a little bit weird. He's been popping up. I don't know if you noticed, like in the Discord, some folks are like at their wits' end with RNH, and it just feels like he's one of those guys that has the portfolio that you can't drop. And I've seen him like as a drop candidate, and I don't know. I remember like just the same kind of thing happening with Bouchard the year before he took power play 1, and you hold out hope for potential and for, I don't know. We're not there yet. Are we there yet?
I know I'm not there yet.
All right.
Yeah, as long as he is surrounding McJesus, you gotta hold. And even if they say for one practice that he's not on power play 1, you still hold, because that may not even make it to a game.
Have they still been doing weird stuff with their power play? Like Darnell Nurse was up there for a minute while McDavid was out. They were doing double duty with the defenseman. Ekholm was up there too. Yeah, I don't know. What are they doing right now? Are they still trying to move things around? It looks like Bouchard, like a normal unit on daily faceoff right now. Hyman, RNH, Draisaitl, McDavid, Bouchard. That's to be expected. But yeah, like I don't know if I was seeing tweets. Maybe they were down and they were scrambling or whatever, but that's where it is. What else we got here? Makar left last night's game in the second period. He tweaked something. He is traveling with the team. Going to be a game time decision tomorrow. You got something here on Mantha. I know I remember like seeing tweets about him going out. Do you have any other details about him?
No, nothing. Just that looks like Pospisil was in his spot at practice with Huberdeau and Sharangovich.
I know it's wrong, but it's just so much fun. Brian Rust is a possibility to return during Pittsburgh's road trip, and that's really it. I mean, I went with trends last night. There's not a lot for us to catch up on. So in terms of storylines, I just have that McKinnon is that dude. That's all I wrote. He looks good. That's it. He's good. Yeah. I got a little bit here about the Preds, man. And this is one thing, like, I'm starting to flirt with the idea of just tackling a team in trends. Like, I feel like Edmonton is warranted in that regard, and Nashville's one as well. They're not looking good. What do you think?
And I think a lot of it is just that center depth. It's like, cool, they added 2 great scoring wingers in Marchessault and Stamkos, but their center depth after Ryan O'Reilly just takes a nosedive.
You know, I was talking to somebody in DM, Buddy Todd, about Zegras. Zegras is somebody he's in a 14-team league, and he's like, you know, can I is Zegras worth dropping? It's like, yeah, he's kind of there, but I just don't imagine that waiver wire is any better. Anyway, we kind of like got to a point where we were talking about Zegras as a trade option to Nashville, and that would have been great. Like when they had Askarov as a trade chip, that would have been a really cool move. But again, you know,
That's what they should have done. I can't even remember what they got for Askarov. I think it was beans.
I'm having trouble thinking now too. Fuck, it must not have been great. But Askarov looks great in the minors. He's doing pretty well. But yeah, man, like Zegras in Nashville would be something. You know, Montreal keeps popping up, but a change of scenery for Zegras would be huge. But yeah, the Preds, they don't look good, and their center depth, and that's kind of how I got on the Zegras thing. Is he would be a decent 2C. He'd definitely be an upgrade over Parsonen, Sissons, Novak.
I think a couple of this guys left tonight's game too.
Oh God, it's just not looking good.
No.
All right, let's get into the mailbag. We got a bunch of things that are coming through from what's up, Craigie? We got a bunch of stuff that's coming through. What do you call it? The Discord. We got the mailbag channel there, and a bunch of people submitted some stuff. We got a DM on Twitter that we're gonna get to. I don't know. Like, I feel like with the DM, I wonder if we should just leave his name out, because I wonder if the DM was like, "Hey, my league mates follow you too, and maybe listen." So I don't know. I feel like we should just not dox him, right?
Okay.
Yeah,
I like it.
All right, Aaron K on Discord. We are going to dox you here a little bit. What do you think about the split between Woll and Stellars? Does Woll officially have the net back, or is there room for competition? Hold or sell Stellars?
Well, Bronk. I think Wall. They're probably handling him with kid gloves, right? Because he was out first few games of the season. But even since he's come back, it seems like Stellars is getting a bigger share of the net. I think it'll be at least probably 60-40 Stellars, as long as he is the guy that we've seen him be in stretches.
That's where the split has been. That came up in my Eastern Edge article for Dauber this week. I think at the time of writing it, I think I wrote it on Monday, but Woll had been healthy for 6 Toronto games, and he got 3, and Stellars got 3. And from what I remember, I feel like one of them was decidedly better at 5-on-5, and one of them was better at all strengths. And like, it doesn't help because I don't fucking know who's who, but like there is a difference, and it depends on what the coach is looking at. I'm trying to see if I can find the article here, but I'm right there with you. I think right now Stellars is the guy, which leads me to believe that he's the better guy that I was thinking of. What day was it? It was November 4th, so it couldn't have been that long ago. I'll find it here. Yeah. But
no, I if you're gonna sell him, I mean, I would just sell him for. I mean, if you could get someone, throw something in and get someone like, oh my gosh, Shesterkin or Hellboy, yeah, do that. But I don't know. I don't think you're gonna get much of an upgrade if you try to trade him right now.
All right, I found it. So this is what I wrote on Toronto. Joseph Woll and Anthony Stellars both have 3 games played in the last 6 Toronto games. Stellars' .957 5-on-5 save percentage gives him the edge, but it's all strengths save percentage is .892, and then the all strength save percentage is .889 for Woll. So that's something to watch. I do think this is going to be kind of a split net, a very much turf war going on for that crease. But Stellars looks better on paper, and I think that's what they're going to run with. Stoli the goalie, baby. I remember him from, all these Flyers goalies are doing so
Florida.
So
okay,
well.
I do remember him from the Flyers.
He was on Florida. We had Alex Lyon as well, Bobrovsky, obviously, but like all these goalies that we had, minus Carter Hart, obviously, like go on to have fantastic careers. Maybe not Steve Mason. Anyway, let's get away from the Flyers. But yeah, hold or sell Stellars. I think I would hold, unless we don't really have a league size for you, Aaron K. But yeah, if you're getting 50% of the Toronto games, that's not great for like volume leagues. But if you're in a points league, I think you're getting good quality stats.
And
there.
if the
I
wins
would
are
hope.
valuable to you, I'd say, yeah, still ours.
Yeah. Swiss Cheese, he's got 2 questions here. Let's segue with the first one because he is still on the Wool Stellars topic here. He's got the Toronto and the Carolina tandem and Annunen. 5 goalies. Fuck. But I'm assuming that Anderson might be in an IR plus. That one would hope. Okay, so he says, if no one trades with me, who are the 2 goalies you would drop? Is it Woll and Annunen? I would just like to hold 3, or do I suck it up and hold both tandems? He's in a 12-team head-to-head Cats redraft, wins, saves, goals allowed average, save percentage. You're not holding 2 tandems, man. Like,
No.
For the whole season, when you have a tandem, you guarantee that you have somebody on your bench, no matter what. It's either 1 or 2 guys that are definitely on your bench if you have a tandem. So Carolina, right now you got to run with Kochekov. So hoping that you have IR plus, just hold Freddie for a minute and kind of kick the can down the road. That'd be my advice there. But yeah, I think Woll can probably go. Hold Stoli while he's good. I do want a piece of Annunen, so I don't know if he'd be the drop. I think I would drop Freddie before I would drop Annunen, to be honest with you, because Kochekov, they're like 7-0-0, 8-0-0 in their last stretch of games. They're doing really well. So I wonder if Anderson comes back, if they start managing his workload because he gets hurt all the time. If they just have Kochekov kind of be the 1A, or even just the starter.
Or even if they give Freddie 2 games in a row, he could break again, and then you're back to square one.
It could even happen at practice. It doesn't even have to be a game. He could just on an elevator. Who knows? Man's made of glass. Go for the trade route, but you have 5 goalies. People are going to see that you need to get rid of a goalie, so don't try to win a trade. Just make a trade. Something that's mutually beneficial. If you can get a player that's better than a waiver wire pickup, you're making out okay because you'd be dropping a guy. So that's where I'm there. Swiss Cheese, is Granlund a drop with Celebrini back? Looks like the same Cats league, goals, assists, plus minus, power play points. PIMS, shots on goal, hits, blocks, 12-team head-to-head Cats. Same league. Swiss Cheese asking here, Granlund is not a drop. I was looking at his advanced stats for trends yesterday. Granlund looks so solid under the hood. So solid under the hood. There's a couple things that are a little bit worrisome. I think it was the power play points really stuck out just based on memory. I think he had 45 power play point pace, which is not gonna happen in San Jose. So there's a little bit of regression coming from this 90-point season that he's on pace for right now. So I don't think Granlund's a drop at all. Celebrini being back, I like him almost more at this point. So I'm not.
It looks like in practice that he was on the line with Celebrini and Toffoli. So as long as he's with those 2, you want whoever that guy is.
And we are sticking in San Jose here. Scoresburg in the Discord. Should we be worried about Toffoli? 13 minutes last night. Only 10 are 5-on-5, and it's not the first time he's had under 14 minutes of 5-on-5 ice time as well. Where are you at with Toffoli?
I still say you got to hold. I feel like a lot of the offense is going to flow through him, as we saw when Celebrini was out. It could be, I don't know, like a low maintenance way of load management, maybe, because I'm sure he's played. I haven't looked at his official time on ice, but I'm sure he played a ton with Celebrini out because the offense was him.
And he's shooting a lot. I'm trying to whip up his advanced stats right now. It's taking forever to load, but as long as he's productive, the time on ice doesn't worry me because he is still, quote unquote, the top line guy, playing with the top line on the top power play. Shots on goal per 60, he's killing it. He's even up from last year, and he was great. Over 250 shot pace, 64 point pace right now. Shooting percentage looks good. IPP looks good. On ice shooting looks good. PDO's low. I really like him. 3 minutes, 21 seconds average time on ice, and 17:06 on the season. But yeah, his last 7 games have been, or his last 7 days, the last 3 games have been a little bit trending downwards. So maybe it's not William Eklund that's losing time on ice. Maybe it's Tyler Toffoli, but that doesn't really make sense because he's on the same line as Celebrini. If Celebrini's taking time on ice from somebody, I would think it would be other lines, but I don't know. The 4 games before this 3-game low time on ice stretch, 17 minutes time on ice, and then 17.06 on the season. So I'm not super worried about Toffoli. Unless there's big red flags that start to pop out production wise, then yeah. But he's got a goal in these last 3 games, 11 shots. So I'm still feeling it. Yeah, 301 shot pace over his last 3 games. Yeah, I'm into it. I don't think we should be worried just yet. Maybe they're just working shit out. All right, this is the Twitter question that we're going to get to now. I have to get to the DM because he did send extra information. If you don't mind reading this one here, Alan.
Oh, man, I didn't catch that. So head-to-head Bangers League, and he's given us a few different players to choose from. Which 3 would you keep? Dilly Guns, Josh Norris, Vinny Tro, JJ Paterka, Bo Horvat, or Lehkonen, who just came back. I'm assuming that's why he needs to make a move here is maybe Lekkonen's come back. So is this points?
Yeah,
Cats?
so that was the question. I followed up just to find out how many teams are in the league. It's a 12-team league, and it is a Cats league. Goals, assists, penalty minutes, power play goals, power play assists split up, face-off wins, hits, blocks, goalies get win, save, shots against, and save percentage. So that face-off win, we're going to lean a little bit towards centers, and Trocheck and Norris were kind of already high on the list for me. And I think Dilly Guns would be next for me, but Horvat is such a
face-off machine.
He's a badass face-off wise. I just don't know if you can justify the rest. So I think I'm going to lock in Gunther, Norris, and Trocheck.
Really? I agree on Trocheck. I think I agree on Norris, but I almost want to go.
Guy?
Yeah.
He's so close at number 4 for me, but I'm so hot for Norris that granted there is some bias that's here, but also the center, so you're getting those face-offs too. But yeah, the top line, top power play with Lek is pretty sexy, so don't blame you for going that way. All right, final word. You got that locked in?
No, yeah, that's what I'm going with. I think we both. I knew we'd both agree on Trocheck.
Oh, so hard not to. All right, we got some other ones here from Jahar, one of our buddies in the Discord here. Are we giving Patrick Kane the Velarde treatment? His points are decent, but there's 0 per ifs. As long as the deployment stays good, are we holding or should we move on? What do you think in there with Patty Kane?
I trust Patty Kane more than Velarde because of his pet. We know what his pedigree is. It's just Detroit is as a team is kind of barf right now.
They're bad.
Yeah. But no, I would say if it was between the two and I needed to drop one, I would drop Velarde.
Oh yeah. I don't think this is a this or that. He's just wondering. So for me, with Velarde, the only thing that I really saw for him outside of his recent hot streak was deployment. And Patrick Kane, I think he was alluding to that being kind of the similarity there. That Patrick Kane's got deployment, but he wasn't doing much else. I'm seeing here 8 points on the season, 60 point pace. His last 2 weeks, he's point per game. But it's this last week that he's really started to slow down. Not only are you suffering because Detroit hasn't played a bunch, but also, 1 point in 2 games is kind of brutal.
But I think at this point in his career, Kane, we could probably call him a 60-point guy. I think that's a very fair value for him.
His shots are down 44%, which is gross. So not Patrick Kane at all. Yeah, that would be worrisome, but I wonder if maybe he's just slotting into that veteran kind of guy, more of a passer at this stage in the game. But those shots are something that you always look forward to with Patrick Kane. So I don't know, if the points are helping you out here, Joel, that would be one thing. But if you're concerned about per-ifs, I'm kind of thinking maybe it's a Cats league, and if he's just not cutting it, then. Because 2 goals, 6 assists in 11 games, and what does he got? 4 power play points. So he's giving you power play points. He's giving you assists. Assists are pretty easy to come by. If he's doing nothing else for you, I don't know. I kind of see how you would be able to drop him, depending on what's on the wire, depending on what your needs are for the team. But I think I'm using the 5-hole leagues as kind of reference here. I think I'd hold in like a normal points league with, slight weights towards Banks. His second question here: would you try trading Stamkos for Reinhardt in a deep keeper points league? Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, if I'm the Reinhardt owner, unless there's some conditions around the keepers, I'm laughing at you. But if they match accept, oh my god, like run with that.
Yeah, the question said, would you try? So yeah, give it a whack. But I think you're right, Alan. I think that's going to get declined immediately. Yeah. All right, that's it for the mailbag. Thank you to everybody who submitted some questions there. We got the mailbag coming up next week. If you need your questions answered in a more kind of pressing fashion, FHF Hockey on Twitter, and we got the Discord for you. Let's get into the weekend preview, see what we got going on this weekend. Because it's Wednesday, right? Wednesday. Because it's Wednesday, we could talk about Minnesota and New Jersey, who both have 3 games to finish out the week. Minnesota obviously being the better team there because they have the Friday, Sunday. So they're giving us 2 off nights and 3 games to finish this week. Thursday, Friday, Sunday. The Devils, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday. And boy, am I fucking tired of talking about the Devils. We're 5 weeks in, and they keep... Like, if I have to say Stefan Nason's name one more fucking time, I'm going to lose my mind.
It's cool. I'll fall on the sword for you, man. Stefan Nason.
We've been through New Jersey so fucking much that, let's not even talk about them. All right. Friday, Sunday teams. Anaheim, Minnesota. What are we looking at from these 2 teams? I picked up Troy Terry in a league, and that's worked out for me so far. So I'm actually getting mollywopped in the Content Creators League where I picked him up. But everybody's so goddamn cold that it's driving me nuts.
Yeah, and I would say if he's taken, oh my gosh, what's his name? McTavish is probably the only other guy worth rostering. Zellweger, if you want that power play 1 access. Yeah,
Zelly's got some good stats right now, but the minutes are a little bit worrisome. But if you're getting the off nights, that's one thing. Terry's the guy that I got. I'm trying to see. Yeah, McTavish would be the next up. Leo Carlson's got 4 goals. I don't know, like Vetrano for the Bangs. I think Gudis probably going to be rostered in a Bang league. Brock McGinn is actually banging up a bunch here. And Fabry, too, with a bunch of hits. But, yeah, Anaheim's kind of just a wasteland. I think Minnesota's got some pretty interesting guys. Is there anybody you like from that team?
Actually, for a goalie stream, Fleury, because they got that back-to-back, and then I could see him getting a second start against Chicago on Sunday.
Oh, yeah, that'd be nice. That's almost a gimme game, too.
But Minnesota's a team. I mean, God, if you don't have any of those top 5-ish guys, it's like, what, Marcus Johansson, Jake Middleton, who we've kind of seen his it seems like some of his points have slid a little bit with Spurgeon coming back.
Spurgeon's back, so he's lost the power play. But the shot, I mean, over the last 14 days, Middleton's got 4 points in 6 games, 13 shots, 13 blocks, and 6 hits. He's more of a banger guy, so the points are probably not something worth counting on. But he's out there. Marco Rossi is always the guy that I kind of like find myself going back to. He's only got 1 shot per game over the last 6 games. And Ryan Hartman's coming back. He's got a goal and an assist, 5 shots on goal through 3 games back. But I'm looking at this time on ice, 13-20, and it
He's
seems
third
like
line.
Yeah, it seems like they're kind of easing him in. He did see 16-39 in his most recent game. They lost 5-1. So I wonder if they were, just playing the veterans as hard as they could, just riding their horses. And that's where he got his time. So he's worth talking about, I suppose. But yeah, I think the big guys are the ones that you're looking towards. I'd go Middleton. I'd do Rossi for this weekend. But again, there's not a ton of like reliable kind of options here. Who'd you say? Marcus Johansson, Marcus Foligno, like the Marcuses would be an option. Foligno's 27 hits in his last 6 games, so that's huge. And Marcus Johansson's just putting up donuts, so I don't know.
I know,
Spurgeon's
like
out
other
his-
than his even strength deployment, he's got nothing for you.
Yeah, that's that Velarde shit. Middleton's out there. Zook, 76%, so a little bit even higher than the just go check territory. But, yeah, that's Anaheim. That's Minnesota. The back-to-backs, Friday, Saturday, if you're looking for goalie streams, I like that Marc-Andre Fleury point that you put out there. Friday, Saturday, back-to-back teams, Detroit, Toronto, and Washington. Both Detroit and Toronto start their back-to-backs against each other. Detroit's going to be at Toronto, and Alex Lyon's 18%, but I don't know. You gotta note
not
in here-
against those two offenses. No
I was
thanks.
gonna say your note here is like, yeah, it's a little risky. I don't know if he'd be worth this stream. I kind of want to circle back to the Woll and Stolar's question. Like, just keep them for this back to backs, and then make your decision after that, because you'll get a game out of each. Yeah.
There you go. I was about to say, as far as
Don't
streaming,
drop
I'm
them
like,
yet.
no. I saw that both those guys are more than 75% owned. You're not getting.
You can't do
Woll or
it. Yeah, you
Stolarz.
can't. Washington, however, they're going to play Pittsburgh at home, and then they're going to be away playing Seattle. I love those Washington-Pittsburgh games, even though both teams are kind of like dumpster fire. Washington's got a little more firepower this year, but they're in the same league, I would say, and that's like the Battle of Alberta East, and it's so much fun to watch. But yeah, Lindgren 36%, Thompson 56%. Do you like either of them?
Yeah. Actually, I feel like either of those teams are winnable games. But yeah, Thompson's probably 56% because he got the start tonight on an off night. But some people might hang on to him, or he could just get dropped right back to waiver wire depending on what they do tonight. Oh, yep. Caps just won. So, I mean, yeah, I could see people hanging on to him.
Yeah. Good week to have them. Saturday, Sunday, there's two teams that have back-to-backs, Columbus and New Jersey. Columbus has Los Angeles and Anaheim. New Jersey has the New York Islanders and San Jose. I think Jake Allen is such a win.
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah, like if there is a goalie stream for this weekend, that Fleury pick that you had and Jake Allen, Jake Allen's playing so well for New Jersey right now that I'd be super into it.
And that's just where he's at. Like in the last few years, he is just a great backup.
Great backup. And I mean, these two, the opponents that they're going up against, the Islanders and San Jose, like those should be gimme games. And I think Jake Allen can. San Jose might be they're definitely going to be more of an offensive threat than the Islanders are, but not like in the range of where I'm worried about a blowout or even a loss. So I'd be pretty confident moving into that one. Sunday streamers, just straight up in general, we talked about Minnesota, Middleton's there, Mojo 1%. But yeah, he's doing nothing with that deployment, which is kind of nutsy. Chicago, I think there's a little bit of value here. What do you think?
Yeah, both, I said, both Donato and Kurashev, line one, power play one, at least for the moment, and they are very lowly owned. I think they both might be single digits.
Yeah, last I looked, I think Donato was like 7% rostered when I did check, and it was this week because I think he's got like all goals. Isn't his stat line is super strange from what I remember. Donato, 5 goals, 2 assists. Yeah. 18 shots, looking really good. His time on ice is going up as he's getting this top line deployment. But it's so up and down. Like he had a 19-minute game and then it's straight back to 13, 11, 9, 14. But as this deployment is there, I'd like to think that, he's worth a shot. Who else is out there? I mean, Teravainen's on line 3. He's got the name cachet, but the deployment's not there. And it seems like Chicago, if you're not getting deployment, it seems like a wasteland.
I think Bertuzzi had an assist tonight. He's probably pretty widely available.
Yeah. I like that top power play, I think, is where my line might get drawn. Yeah, because I do like Bertuzzi too, so that's a good point. Taylor Hall, not
Nope.
making any noise whatsoever.
Pass.
We got a couple questions coming in from the Discord here, or not from the Discord, from YouTube chat. Amon Gasol asks, for example, I've got Eichel and Panarin and sat Eichel, both only 2 games this week. Benched Eichel, and he scored tonight. Fuck my life. Oh, I thought there was a
Sounds
question.
like a weekly lock.
Yeah, I was going to
If you
say.
had to make that call.
Yeah. Both only 2 games this week. Benched Eichel. Yeah, tough shit. That sucks. I hate when that happens. Whenever, like, I have to sit good guys, I try to turn my blinders on. Like, just ignore my bench. But you want a productive bench. You want your guys to be moving. He picked up Thompson. Here we go. Should have put in the mailbag. Do you think Bedard will heat up? I got him in the draft pretty early and hasn't done anything really crazy. Yeah, what do you think, Al?
I mean, I guess what's heat up? I mean, what would he finish at last season? Like 60 points? I really don't think Chicago put a good enough team around him to really raise that ceiling too much higher. It might just depend on strength of opponents. I'd say like when Chicago plays those lower tier teams, that's where he's gonna win you weeks.
74-point pace last year, 76-point pace this year. So it's kind of like right around where he was last year. He's point per game over his last 3 games. All 3 are assists, and all are primary, which is good to see. On ice shooting percentage looks good for him. I'm trying to find like a red flag here. Shots on goal per 60 is great. It's up from last year too, so he's shooting more, even more than his rookie season. I don't know. Like I feel like he's going to be a 75-ish point guy, and that's exactly what he's on pace for. So I like him there. Okay, so moving back into where were we at? Just Sunday streamers. We talked Chicago, the Minnesota at Chicago game. So now it's New Jersey at San Jose. Man, Liljegren on the top power play. Are you interested at all there?
Oh, absolutely, and
Yeah, for sure.
especially at 2% owned.
Yeah, that's going to be a big pickup. Love Lily on that top power play. He came up on trends yesterday, and I think I wrote about him in that Eastern Edge blog for Dauber, where like San Jose is just fun. Oh no, because I talk about the East, so I didn't talk about him there. But yeah, he definitely came up in trends. San Jose's doing things, which is kind of like nutsy. That's not at all what I expected. They put together a really good team. Toffoli was a great acquisition. Wenberg as well, and Granlund. Like this, Granlund was there last year, but they're looking really good. And I'm not trying to say that they're going to be like playoff contender or anything, but I don't think they're in the basement anymore. I think they're definitely trending up. And this is a good year. Vanacek looked fucking solid as hell the other night. Did he get a shutty? I forget if he got a shutout or if he just had.
Oh, because did they play? I think it was Columbus. No, I think it was a 2-1 game.
Whew.
But no, yeah, yeah. I don't know. I think I'd still be cautiously optimistic he keeps that, but it's just like when he took Wallman. It's like, what'd you really pay for him? Nothing. So if he loses it,
yep. And Jake Wallman, coach came out and said that it was not a like performance based scratch that got him scratched. So something's going on there. They weren't really giving up anything. So I hope everything's okay with Wallman over there. Just go check on Toffoli. That's a good point here that you got in the notes. Wenberg is heating up. He's on that top power play. He's worth checking out. I am such a big Fabian Zetterlund fan that I feel like I need to mention him. The hits are crazy. I don't know that we're going to get a ton of, offensive production or anything in that regard, but I am such a big fan of him. In his last 7 games, he's point per game. He's got 16 hits, 14 shots on goal. Like Zetterlund is so underrated, especially in Cats leagues. Dual eligible left wing, right wing, 19% rostered. Even just go check on Granlund, man. Like, what's Toffoli? 56. Granlund's 58. So check any of these guys out. The highest rostered player is Celebrini at 58, same as Granlund. So you can just go check on literally all of them. And I think, should we rank them? Like, I like Granlund first, Celebrini next. Then I would do Toffoli, Eklund, Zetterlund, Liljegren, Wenberg.
I'd put Zetterlund above Eklund because I mean Eklund he's line 2, so he didn't drop too much, but he's on power play 2 now.
Yeah, true
I
enough.
forget if Zetterlund is power
He's
play
PP
1.
two. No, he's
Okay.
PP two.
Yeah,
Because I think power play 1 is Wenberg is up there.
There we go.
Celebrini, Granlund, Toffoli, and Lilly. So that's your PP 1. Zetterlund's on power play 2. That's where Eklund's hanging out. I think Will Smith is there, and I forget who's running the back end.
Yeah, no,
Like
I'd
who
say
the
give me the
defenseman
guys on power play 1 first, and then like the Zetterlund, the Eklund. But I guess that's more thinking points league than any kind of categories or heavy bangers weight.
Yeah, curate it towards your league, but general rankings, I think that's pretty good. New Jersey's playing. They have guys out there. Go check. But I think there's other options. I'm fucking so tired. Every single week, every episode, it's New Jersey.
Oh, you know, I was surprised Dawson Mercer was only 20% owned. Yeah, he's line 1 with Heischer and Timo.
And he sure is hot as fuck. So, yeah, got to get in on there. Columbus, Anaheim. So again, you know, we talked about Troy Terry. I think Zellweger is a good a piece to look at too. He's running the first power play. I forget if I brought it up on Trends last night, but I had the money puck lines open for this top line that you got in the notes here. Monahan, Chinnikov, and Marchenko. They are a really good line. The expected goals for percentage, they are, I think
maybe
they were
that was
sixth.
one of the same charts I used when we did like our 32 teams thing. Because yeah, they were one of like the best per 60, like things like goals per 60.
So any line that has more than 100 minutes, they are fourth. Oh, actually they're first because I have defensive pairings in here too. So offensive lines only, they are the first. Let me see if I can share this to those that are hanging out on YouTube. Chinnikov, Monahan, Marchenko. Expected goals for, they lead the league. So crazy. Expected goals for per 60, they're at third. God, what are the New York Islanders doing in the top 3 here? That's very unexpected.
Yeah, that doesn't sound right. Run the numbers again.
Refresh. In terms of shot attempts for, if we're looking at what's ranked here, they are number 1 in Corsi 4 as a line. So they are controlling the play the most. And shot attempts for per 60 minutes, they're third behind Matthews, Marner, and Niederreiter, strangely enough. And ahead of Kucherov, Gensel, and Point, if that's telling you anything. So they're just like super underrated. You really got to get a piece of these guys. Monahan's looking really good. I love Marchenko, and Chinnikov's just got a spot in my heart because he was out of left field draft pick. So I'm kind of rooting for the guy. They didn't even have his headshot when he got drafted. Like that's how far out of left field he was. So you always got to kind of root for the underdog. Big fan of that. I like those guys. And I think it's anyone that's not, because this I did write in the Eastern Edge. I think it's anyone who's not Werenski is like 35% or lower rostered. So you can get anybody except Werenski. So go shopping.
Yeah, and then goalie stream. Yeah, either whoever gets that start, probably Tarasov.
Yeah, I don't know. Anaheim, like Dostal's a wagon. His last 2 games have been sub 900, so I wonder if the tides are starting to shift on Dostal. I've kind of been beating that drum just because I don't buy into it. Like Anaheim goalie Vezina candidate, no, doesn't make sense. It does not compute. So this could be, to me, that's a coin flip. Like those are 2 teams, Columbus and Anaheim, that are kind of in the same weight class, you know? So it could go any other way. But I like Tarasov. I think Dostal's definitely got a dog in the fight, depending on who he plays. Like if they put Dostal out there. We got a question here from Aaron. Is Severson worth a look? Also, do you think it's okay to let OEL go at this point? I just got Riley, and I need a streamer spot. Yeah, I'm holding OEL personally, but that's only because I have Vince Dunn in IR. So as soon as Vince Dunn comes back, OEL will be on the waiver wire. So yeah, I think OEL is worth a drop. Let's check out Severson. Have you noticed anything on Severson?
He's scored a couple goals lately.
Did he?
But no, funny story. I was at that Islanders Columbus game last week, and my buddy I was with was dogging Severson like most of the game. Dude scores, but the goal gets disallowed, and then he scores again. And I think he had like the lone goal, one of the lone goals against someone recently. So he's on a little bit of a streak, but
yeah,
I'd like to know what other defensemen are on the wire if Severson's who you're looking at.
Yeah, this is what I got on Severson. His last 4 games, he's on a 62-point pace. That's just not something that I buy into. I love these shots coming from a defenseman. That's huge. Shooting percentage is a little worrisome. Yeah, I don't trust these numbers here.
No, definitely not that IPP.
Yeah, it's hard to. Yeah, 75%, way too high for. But 2 out of his 3 points are primary, so that tracks a little bit. But also, it's shooting 17%. It's like none of this really makes sense. And he's on a 48-point pace on the year,
which seems very high for him.
Yeah,
given his role,
just general. Yeah. So I'll bet the under. I think this is like kind of an Orlov level hot streak from a random defenseman that we're seeing right now. So
there you go.
Yeah. What else we got in terms of the notes here? Next week prep. So if you guys are getting into it, just getting ready for the next week, San Jose has a Sunday-Monday overlap. So they're playing on Sunday. They're going to play on Monday as well. They also, I'm trying to check, didn't they come up as one of the better schedules next week? No. So if you're getting a Granlund, if you're getting a Zetterlund, if you're getting Celebrini or Toffoli, if they're out there, hold on to them because they're going to start the next week on Monday. And Monday's an off night.
Most of those guys are probably longer-term holds anyway, depending on
how
deep your league is.
Yeah. I mean, where do you draw the line with long-term holds? For me, it's kind of the top 3, Celebrini, Granlund, Toffoli.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah. There we go. Next week, the best schedule is going to go to Vegas. They have 4 games, 4 off nights. Carolina's right behind them, 4 games, 3 off nights. Pittsburgh the same. Nashville the same. Vancouver has 4 and 2. St. Louis 4 and 2 as well. Teams with 3 games, 3 off nights. Washington, Calgary, Colorado. The worst schedules are going to be Chicago, Tampa, Minnesota. So we can drop those Jake Middletons. We can drop those Marco Rossi's, whoever you wind up streaming for this solid weekend from Minnesota. If you do choose to go that route, drop them Sunday night, right? Same thing goes for Chicago if you're picking up a Kurashev, a Donato. Yep, that's where I'm at. There are no teams with 3 games, 0 off nights. So just those 2 games played, 0 off nights, Chicago, Tampa, Minnesota. Those are the ones that are going to have the down weeks, which sucks because I have a Joel Eriksson-Ek, Matt Boldy stack that I really, really count on a week-to-week basis. Well, that's what I got. If there's anybody left in the chat, this is going to be the last call for mailbag questions. But you got anything left?
No, I'd say Vegas. I haven't looked at that top line, but a couple nice grabs. Dorofeyev, as long as he's getting power play 1, and William Karlsson, he got 5 points in 4 games since coming back.
Good. The minutes are super crazy, but he's doing.
He's center only, but if he's all off nights, you're going to have room for him.
I agree. I like him. He's I think he's marquee. He's one of the marquee players on the thumbnail that I threw up today for the episode that will be the week preview when we come at you guys on Saturday. Let me cue up the outro music here. There we go. Checking the comments. Last call. We're done. So if you guys want to find us, we're on Twitter at FHF Hockey. We got the Fantasy Hockey Discord here, chock full of all sorts of stuff. In-game discussion is always pumping when it comes to when the games are happening. One of my favorites is Twitter retweet, things that happen on Twitter, post them up there, and then we talk about it live breakdowns, which is kind of crazy cool. But yeah, get in the Discord, find us on Twitter. Throw a like or a subscribe or do whatever you got to do on YouTube. It's free and it helps us out. So do it. We love you.
Good night. Good mental health, everyone.
True. In these trying times, thoughts and prayers.